The federal government this week unveiled a deal to build 2 new satellites to help deliver high-speed broadband in the bush as part of the National Broadband Network. The satellites will cover remote and rural areas not covered by the $36 billion project's fibre-optic cable. The NBN cable will start rolling out in Darwin in May. Genevieve Hussey reports.
For 14-year-old Max Stratton, the internet is a central part of everyday life. He uses it to complete his schoolwork and during his leisure time.
I use internet every day for school mainly, research, that sort of stuff, and I use it for downloading music and videos and photos, and also social networking.
The teenager has his own notebook and iPad from school, but he's far from happy with the speed of his broadband service.
Internet's on and off. It's not the most reliable service. It's difficult at sometimes when you really need it, that sometimes it's either too slow or it's not working. It can be very frustrating.
The answer to Darwin internet users' prayers may be on the horizon. The National Broadband Network has started design and survey work in Stuart Park, and in May, a planned 12-month rollout of fibre-optic cabling in that area will begin.
When we've finished what we're doing, we'll be certainly in the top 5, if not near the very top, of countries that use fast, high-speed optical networks to deliver their broadband. So we're moving from out of the top 20 definitely into the top 5.
Well, for us at the moment, we run on ADSL 2+ at about 20 megabits, and it's reported with the NBN that it might up to be 100 or so. So if we're looking at a 5-fold increase in speed, then that really is considerable.
Jude Allen manages Dolphin Software, which runs electronic surveys and develops software and websites mainly for Northern Territory clients.
So how's it going down there? Did you hear about our storms here yesterday afternoon?
Based in central Darwin, the company already has comparatively good ADSL access, but Jude Allen is looking forward to the changes the NBN will bring.
We really run on video conferencing, mostly Skype. So we've got the opportunity to do multiple faces on the screen to really connect better visually with people. One thing I wanted to show you...
Jude Allen hopes the NBN will help her business expand interstate and overseas.
One of the opportunities I look forward to with greater connectivity speeds is being able to look at Singapore, New Zealand and Hong Kong.
Well, before this was in Wayne, there was just one link from Adelaide to Darwin.
In December, the federal government celebrated the completion of 6,000 kilometres of fibre-optic cable stretching across Australia. It'll form a backbone of the NBN and connects regional centres to capital cities.
This project is as important today as was the overland telegraph line that was opened up back in 1878.
Darwin to Humpty Doo will eventually be serviced by fibre-optic cabling. Outlying areas like Lamble's Lagoon and Darwin River will use wireless coverage, but the more remote parts of the territory will have to rely on a satellite connection.
We've signed contracts with a large construction company to commence the fibre rollout in earnest in the territory. We've already commenced our fixed wireless works around Darwin, and we're already providing interim satellite services across the territory, so we're off and running.
Oh, there's always been an enormous disparity in terms of access, compared to urban areas and regional and remote areas, and that's been one of the big inhibiting factors. And I think there will always be a disparity despite the NBN, and in some ways that may even increase.
Susan Bandius completed her PhD on the role of telecommunications in remote communities. She hopes better broadband access will eventually lead to improvements in health and education in regional areas.
Remote communities are very highly dependent on the provision of services, government services, for instance education and health. So I think in those areas it will have an immediate application in terms of being able to provide speedy services, improved diagnosis, improved patient care, improved delivery of education.
There is now a growing awareness that Northern Australia is in fact the gateway to what is an expanding region, and we have to have the best infrastructure, whether it be roads, airports, rail, but primarily also telecommunications.
Cattle producers say improved broadband services will enable the industry to compete, and the technology will have to meet a growing demand.
There's about 70 or so satellite installations have been put in remote locations already under the NBN. We need to see that accelerate, but we also have to watch very carefully that it's actually meeting the needs of people in regional and rural Australia.
This week, the federal government signed a deal for 2 new satellites to be built as part of the NBN and launched in 2015.
They will provide a dedicated broadband service for the most remote 3% of premises in Australia.
At every turn, they are taking the most expensive route for every step, which is why this project is going to blow out in terms of cost and time.
Darwin-based internet users are hoping the NBN will live up to their expectations.
The opportunity to participate more fully in a global economy and global society is, I think, only an upside for us.
Yeah, lightning-fast internet will make our lives a breeze.
Genevieve Hussey with that story.